Hey guys, it's Dante, lighting designer of the ALF Lighting crew, and I'm going to be showing you a behind the scenes look at our Christmas concert that's going to be taking place later this week. A lot of preparation has been put in from my side, lighting, and there's still a lot of work left to be done. But I want to take some time and kind of show you guys. Obviously, behind the scenes look is showing you how things work and different tricks and everything that we've got up our sleeve. So that's what we're going to do for this video. As you can see, we've got the stage setter. If you've watched past videos, you know what the stage setter is about. Um, well, I'm here in the pastor's box. And normally we're in the balcony when we control all of our lighting, but this concert is special in the sense of the lights that we're using, the way that we're using them. We've never done it before here at this church, so it's going to be pretty interesting. And just to give you an idea, that you see the white lights there, and so those are our American DJ pars, and there's lights above them, black lights. We're borrowing those from a church friend. Those are the Chave DJ 4 bar, uh, 4 bar try. Actually, let me the foot controller is here. This actually controls the lights. Although right now we're controlling it via DMX, but this is the foot controller or the foot switch. But that's the name of the fixture, the 4 bar try USB. So it's actually wireless DMX fixture, but we're controlling it wired into the stage setter here. But technically we can control with no cable. Anyway, as you can see right now, the stage is washed in cyan. And so you see we got the other lights over on the other side there. And so, we've got a big choir. Normally our choir fits the middle choir loft. Let me go ahead up close so you can kind of see. And we got 3 sections here, and normally we only fit the one section, but now we have enough where we are filling up the other 2 sections, so we need a lot of light. And so we got it. And it looks good. And you see this light here, when it gets dark, we want people to be able to see where they're stepping as they step. So we've got some nice guiding light, so that, everyone can see where they're going. And also on the balcony, we've got those same lights. And I'll actually plug them in for you so you can kind of see how that works. But this is where most of the action happens. So let's go ahead and show you some of the things that we're going to be doing. A couple of, I know one song at least, we're going to be doing a chase to the music. So I'm going to just bring all this down and bring up the correct button. If I do, hopefully I do. I believe this is it. So the song won't be this fast, but we've got some red, green, blue, and yellow going through a nice cycle, and it'll go with the beat of a particular song. It's a nice song. I think this is the tempo here. I think that's about as fast as the song is going to be. We've also created a shade of white. This is not quite white. This is seashell. So this is a color that is warmer than white. So, it's not too harsh. And it's, especially for darker skinned people, you don't want anything too hard on the faces. Speaking of the choir, I'm going to actually be in the choir. I'm not going to be lighting this concert. So the rest of the ALF Lighting crew will be running the show for those 2 nights. And, so that's going to be really interesting. I'm not usually absent from lighting events. but this time I'll be singing and carrying on, so that'll be interesting. We're gonna go back to, let's bring up blue. Whenever the stage is blue, normally that means there's a transition scene, and I'm gonna actually plug something else in real quick. Alright, so that light coming back there, the the narrator is going to be back there. We're going to have a narrator who's going to narrate some things throughout the concert. And so he or she will be back there. And so things are going to be like, we're going to raise the screen and everything. But that's kind of the gist of how it would look um, when we go ahead and do that. So that's just something, to look at. Now, let's go into the balcony real quick. But because I want to show you the rope lights and all that. We also did some setup where we're going to be lighting up the band pit with one of the follow spots. And luckily for our follow spot, we can control the shape of the beam. So I was able to do some geometry tricks, if you will, and fit the band box for the most part. And I might need to tweak it a little bit, but nothing major. I'm just remembering now I'm going to have to plug these lights in. So I'm going to plug them in, turn them on. It takes a little while for them to warm up. But in the meantime, I can show you the rope lights. So we won't be standing around doing absolutely nothing. Okay. Get number 1 on. Let's get number 2. So while they warm up, safety, you ask anybody on the crew, we have a motto. And the motto is how we do lighting. We do it safely, quickly, and quietly. So we want to make sure people know where they're stepping and they can see. When we plug that in, we've got this trail of light right at the steps. And they'll go, and they keep going down pretty much until the bottom of the steps. So, I've made a conscious effort of making sure that people can see where they're going as the night goes on. We expect to have a full house and all that, so, but even if we don't, even if there's just one person that has to come up here, we want to make sure that they are safe and sound. Okay, so this is one of our follow spots. This will be maintaining most of the solos that will be taking place during the concert. See that? One of the new things we're going to be doing is we're going to actually project a gobo. So I'm going to take out the slide for it so that you can see. And if you don't know what a gobo is, a gobo, the word gobo, G-O-B-O, stands for go in between. And so this is a gobo slide. And what happens is you put a little image here inside of the circle. And it's usually made out of like steel or transparency paper. And what happens is the design is on there and it projects that design onto your surface, whatever it is. And so what we're going to be doing, we're going to have a moment where it's going to be a starlight type of, a candlelight service or whatever. And so we're going to just put up like the Star of Bethlehem, Star East, whatever you want to call it, and just put that right on the wall. So that's something we've never done before. We have the technology, we've just never used it. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting. That's probably the most exciting part of the whole concert. And then the band box light. So the band will be in that box. And so what I've done is I shaped the light so that it pretty much fills up the box. And it looks yellow on the screen, but this is actually a warm white. I'm not sure why it looks like that. But let's change to white. That's white. And, again, it just fills up the box and nothing else. Everything else is kind of off to the side. Everything else will be black. But the band does play a song on their own, so we want to give them some special attention for that. Of course, we'll be using our stage lights and our perimeter lights and our broadcast lights as well. So we've got a lot of lighting tools at our disposal, and so my crew is more than ready. I think they'll get through the show. That's basically what I'm saying. They'll make it. Um, so that's pretty much how we're doing things here. Now, I do want to talk about some of the paperwork that goes involved with making this happen. So, with every now the paperwork that I have here is named after official paperwork that professional light designers use. But my paperwork is not going to look quite the same. So don't take this as the official look. But its job is the same job as the official documents and all of that. But this is the master cue sheet. Everyone on the crew will get a specific cue sheet. Like someone will get a light board cue sheet. Someone's going to have the follow spot cue sheet. Someone's going to have broadcast and stage lighting cue sheets. So you make the master and then you got to split it up so that each one can kind of focus on their task. But then someone, most likely Nia, is going to have the master sheet and will be able to guide everyone with what they need to do. Anyway, you flip through, you've got different setups. So like pre-show lighting, kind of ambience lighting or whatever. And let me show you that. I'm going to show you what it's supposed to look like. It's I created a red and green fade, and it's coming up now. So it's basically red, and then it goes into green, as you can see. And then I start mixing things up a little bit with some red and green. You see the red coming in, and the green is still on the sides, and then they flip, and it becomes green in the middle and red on the sides. So that'll be going on in the background while everyone's, doing their thing out there, sitting down, getting ready, and it'll just be on a slow fade. We got default lighting. If something goes wrong or if there's some kind of emergency thing or whatever, we have a backup where we know what we're going to do. And then there's transitions. I showed you that already, narration lights in the baptismal area. And you've got the light board is going to be blue. We have some dancing and miming going on, so we're going to have some lighting for that. And then all the songs that are going to be sung, whether it's choir, ensemble, or solo. And each one has its different cues and everything like that. And that's about it for the master cue sheet. Now, I have to do some more updating on this because it's not quite done. But that's kind of the gist of what a master cue sheet would look like for how I make them. And then you have the magic sheet. Now, the magic sheet is aka the cheat sheet. And what the magic sheet does is it allows you to quickly find out which fixture you're operating and what quad, meaning for us location. But each of these are broken into four blocks on the controller. So technically, what I can do is I can control each section or each group of 4 lights. So quad 1, we can make it amber. Quad 2, I might want it red. Quad 3, I might want it green. And quad 4, let's go with blue. You can actually get a nice rainbow effect. But we control these, and I've split it up into 4. So each quad, you know, can do something completely different at any given time. And so these are the channels that they occupy. So channels 1, 2, 3, and 4 are for fixture 1, quad 1. 5, 6, 7, 8 for fixture 2, quad 2. Fixture 3 is also in quad 1, so it has those channels and so on. You go down here, fixture 10 is in quad 3, fixture 15 is in quad 4. And you see the channels that they're assigned. So now if there's some kind of troubleshooting that we need to do, or if we want to quickly change a part of the stage to a certain color, we know which fixture to turn to, where it's controlled, and what channels that they are controlled from. And then you can quickly make your adjustments. So for instance, if I want to say, well, okay, quad 4 needs to be brighter, I know it's 13, 14, and 15 that they're being controlled from. So now if I go here, I know, okay, well, that's 13, 14, and 15. And these are the colors, red, green, blue. The tri-lights, the Chauvet DJ lights don't have amber. We have amber on the American DJs because they're quad lights. But these are tri-lights, so they only do the 3 versus quad 1, 2, 3, 4. Luckily, red is red no matter what. So I can bring up red here and bring up red here, and it's still red. So there's no real confusion in that sense. So I made sure that it was programmed in such a way, because otherwise we could have done 9, 10, 11, and then 12, 13, 14. But that would have thrown everything off in terms of labeling. So it's a DMX trick. It's just too long to explain. But that's the magic sheet. Another sheet you'll hear about is the shop order sheet. This is to tell you basically if you got to rent or borrow something. So the item, how many of those items you need, is it rented or borrowed? So we're borrowing all of this, including the Chauvet DJ 4-bar tri USB lights. And even down to the details, the power cable. And then price of rent. So if we rented it, how much did it cost? Who owns it? Heritage Sound. So Heritage Sound, you see I'm here too. But Heritage Sound is a company that is letting us use their stuff. And it just so happens I work for this company, so I'm kind of tied in the middle of it all. But yeah, that would be the Christmas concert shop order sheet. And this helps you keep track of everything's borrowed and rented. And that way, when the event is over, you know, okay, it's pretty much like a checklist at that point. Okay, did we get all 3 of the 50-foot XLR cables? Did we get our 10-foot cable back? Did we get the headlamps back? The Chauvet DJ power cables? Make sure they're returned to the rightful owners. And, price of rent is essentially for before. Obviously, you want to give that to the church, and then the budget and all that kind of stuff. So definitely some paperwork involved in the whole process. It's not just about trying to find the right colors. Light designers have to do a lot. There's also a thing called the light plot, which I don't have with me, but a light plot basically tells you where all the fixtures are, what color or what gels are using, or where they're focused, where they're aimed, as well as power sources. Where are the outlets? Are we using extension cords over here, over there? So it's a blueprint basically of a lighting setup or lighting system. So you definitely want to have those are 4 documents: a cue sheet, shop order sheet, magic sheet, and light plot. Those are the top 4 sheets that lighting designers tend to use. There's a lot more out there, but these are the 4 that we're going to be using at least. So, like I said, I'm most excited about the gobo. I've never seen that in real time, so I'm really excited about that. I also think that the the idea of washing the stage is actually going to be pretty interesting too. I think I'm really excited about seeing the different colors. And the choir's going to be standing there, so we're going to be wearing different colors as well. Actually, the choir, I know there's magenta, emerald, red, green, silver, I believe gold. That's at least 6 colors. I know I'm missing like 1 or 2 other colors, but there's going to be some colors involved. So everything's going to look festive and colorful and pretty. And yeah, I'm definitely excited and interested to see how it all unfolds. Only problem is I'm going to be in the choir, like I said, so I'm not going to see the whole thing. I'm going to be a part of it. So, but it'll be recorded so I can watch the recording to kind of get an idea of what things looked like. So that's pretty much behind the scenes look at all the work it took to get all these fixtures up and running and ready to go. And it hasn't been, it wasn't hard, but it's not like this was a simple task, if you know what I mean. And there's just a lot of details that go into making this stuff happen, from the color that you pick to taping down that extension cord so no one trips over it. Those are all of that kind of stuff you got to factor in. We're also going to be, my crew. You saw on the shop order sheet. There's going to be some headlamps, and so my crew will be able to see in the dark while they operate this stuff. You see the nice glow there. So as it gets dark, as the concert goes on, they'll have something that they'll be able to see. All those kinds of things help make this a smooth operation. And they'll be wearing headsets as well to communicate with each other. In fact, I can show you. So you got stuff like this. You got to make sure you have prepared. And here's one out of the box. So just a lot of effort that goes involved. That doesn't always get the. Not that it should get the limelight, but you don't always think about that. But the next time you go to a concert or a production and you see all this stuff, yeah, just have a sense of gratitude of all the things that happen that you don't see. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you can take that if you want, whatever. But I think that's it for this video. So you can always follow the ALF Lighting crew on social media, mainly Instagram and Twitter. Both of them at ALF Lighting Crew. That'll be in the description, because I don't feel like spelling that out for you, unless I put a little thing on the screen. But you can also follow me on Twitter. Technically, I'm on Instagram. People don't know that, but I am technically on Instagram. But I locked my account or whatever, so you can't follow me unless you ask. So, but you can follow me on Twitter at Dante Writes. And if you got any questions about some of the stuff that we did in terms of rigging and what stands we use, these stands are from these are Chave DJ stands. So they're a tree, if you will. And we made slight modifications. It's a whole setup that we did that's not quite out of the box, if you will. So if you got any questions about that, let me know. Anything that you want to know about what we did or things like that. But yeah, that's about it. So it's very likely that last year we did it. Me and Nia did a lighting journal entry talking about December, all the things that we did in December of last year. So we might do something similar to that this year. So I want to do some kind of recap because this has been a really big year for us. But after this concert, we have Christmas Eve service and we have New Year's Eve service. So we still have some work to do, you know. And so, but yeah, I definitely want to get a recap video up for you so that you can kind of get a sense of what we've accomplished and what we hope to accomplish in 2016 and all that good stuff. So, um, yeah, I'll talk to you later. Keep shining.